Hello, Steve Fletcher here, and welcome to another edition of My Favourite Things. Before we get started, you know what's coming. I'm going to ask you very nicely to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, maybe even leave a comment. It takes you absolutely seconds to do this. It pretty much means nothing to you whatsoever, but to me, it means that I can carry on trying to make a living out of these videos. Okay, so today we are counting down my favourite solo performances. Now, I love a good solo performance. I think it really does bring the artist out. It's kind of like, showing that you can do it, really, I suppose, without all the tricks and trickery, and get to the nitty-gritty of whether or not you can deliver on your own. And it's a very daunting thing to be an artist and stand there on stage all by yourself, whether you're in a pub or whether you're in a stadium, and you've got to try and capture the attention of people who might be having a pint and having a chat and completely ignoring you. So I'm showing these in no particular order because, quite frankly, they're all amazing, and I can't be bothered to sit and try and figure out number ones. So here we go. We're starting off with a couple of artists from way down under. There's something in the water in Australia, which just seems to create, for me, insanely good musicians. Obviously you've got the huge, enormous bands. You've got, bands like AC/DC, In Excess, and people like that who've managed to crack through onto the mainstream. But you've also got this sort of real undercurrent of unsigned independent musicians who are all making incredibly brilliant music but don't necessarily get the recognition that I think that they deserve. So you've got people like this. This is a Jeff Lang song. Now, if you've never heard of Jeff Lang, I pretty much guarantee you've probably never heard of Jeff Lang, but please check him out. You absolutely owe it to yourself. And particularly the song "The Road Is Not Your Only Friend." There are parts on that all the way through that are just insane. The original version does feature instrumentation. However, Jeff Lang is noted when he goes on the road is he very rarely takes a band with him. He's normally a completely solo performer. And I was very lucky to see him in a venue in Sheffield called the Boardwalk. It's not there anymore, sadly. It's no more. And I spent the whole night like this. Seriously, it was I'm just going to go home and burn my guitars moment. Fortunately, I since discovered someone else in the audience that night had filmed it and posted it. So I've linked that video to that solo performance. It's amazing. Next, we're going to stick with another Australian musician. This is John Butler. A little bit more well-known is John Butler. Tends to do a lot more international touring with the trio, with John Butler Trio. But he makes no bones about the fact that he owes his whole career to Jeff Lang. He saw Jeff Lang when he was a kid and instantly was like, that's it for me. That's what I want to do. Anyone who knows John Butler will know that in the middle of his sets is an instrumental piece which he wrote many, many, many years ago called Ocean. The wonderful thing about this piece is it is a continuously evolving piece. He's always adding, constantly evolving and changing Ocean. There are parts in it that are as close as I've ever come at a gig to a religious experience. I know that sounds very ridiculous, very hooky, very flower powery, but I'm honestly not kidding. There is something about this piece, again, it's going to sound very flower powery of me, but you could really just sail away with Ocean. It's a phenomenal piece. He did an updated version of it in 2012, which is the version that I've linked. It's amazing. Next, we're going into Fleetwood Mac land. Now, it is Fleetwood Mac. There's no two ways about it. It's a Fleetwood Mac song. But in 1997, Fleetwood Mac did a reunion tour. The Rumours lineup of Fleetwood Mac reunited. They released a live album. And on that album, Lindsey Buckingham did a solo performance of Big Love. And again, wow. There are parts in that where you actually can't almost believe that that's one person playing things. You know, he brings this brilliant idea of, you know, maintaining a bass note with your thumb while simultaneously picking solo notes and chord shapes and stuff. It's a brilliant performance. And for me, it actually demonstrates not just how is he playing that moment, because it's hard to learn. I have learnt it. I've actually done a tuition video for it. But it's kind of like an artistry moment where you almost can't believe, not that he can play it, but you can't believe that something like that has come out of somebody's brain. That sort of thing. And that, for me, is one of the things that really makes it amazing. Right, we're going into some classic rock anthem territory now. We're going into Queen. Now, Brian May has been famous for doing, in the third album that Queen released, the Sheer Heart Attack album, featured Brian May composition Brighton Rock, which is a fantastic song in itself. It's got some wonderful guitar soloing. It goes into a solo harmony performance where Brian May is using delay repeats like a canon effect, and what you get is what he is playing is in harmony with the repeats that are coming back. It's a really very clever technique which Brian May has managed to really make his own. And for me, the solo culminated at Wembley in 1986, which was officially released on the Live at Wembley album. And it's brilliant. It's just like a moment where it all comes together. It's almost like he wrote it and then performed it. It just falls out of him so well. It's just really well crafted. And that is my favourite version of the Brighton Rock solo. I don't think he's ever done it any better. I'm sure you'll disagree. But there we go. It's brilliant. Check it out. Okay, and now what we're also going to look at here is a version of the Who song Drowned. In the early 2000s, the Who got together for a series of charity concerts culminating in a performance at the Royal Albert Hall. And on that show, on that tour, he was doing an acoustic version of the Who song Drowned from Quadrophenia. Townsend, obviously an incredible guitar player, but not particularly renowned for his soloing. You know, he doesn't have any big comfortably numb solo moments like that or anything like that. But as a strumming pattern, chord pattern, a display of artistry, it's just a really powerful performance of the song. And I remember watching it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Leave me your comments. Send me some stuff. Disagree with me if you want. All that's going to happen is I'm going to have to go and watch some of your videos that you think, no, this one, and I don't mind. It's my life, you know, watching guitar players play their guitars. So feel free to comment, and we'll see you next time. All the best. Bye.